I'm Jack Patty, and this is the Senior Minute, successfully serving seniors.
Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Senior Minute. My name is Martin Rivers. Today we have with us Director Antonio Baldon. He is the Director with Waste Management for Lexington, Fayette County. Welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So tell us a little about yourself.
As you said, Antonio Baldon. I am now proudly serving as the director of our Division of Waste Management here in Lexington Fayette Urban County Government. I come here by way of Louisville, Kentucky, so just right up the road. In that, I've worked for the waste industry for about 23 years. One portion of that stay was dealing with Louisville Metro Solid Waste, and then a small stint in the wastewater industry for the Metropolitan Sewer District.
Okay. So this program is focused on seniors, and so the first topic that we're going to hit on is the carryout program. But as you and I were just briefly talking about before, was also the exception program. So do you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
And the differences between the two, or if there's any difference?
It's not really no difference. It's just really about preference of how one wants to state it. One of the things that you and I were talking about is what most people know it as. Most people know it as the collection or pickup program or assistance program. Mainly in our office internally, we refer to it as an exemption. And an exemption is a collection method that we use for our division to assist our seniors.
Okay. So besides being a senior, is there any qualifications that are required? Does it extend beyond seniors?
It does. This service can actually be used for not only senior, but it can also be used for anyone that has say a medical or a physical ailment. A lot of times we've had individuals that call us and state that, I've just had back surgery. Yeah. What kind of assistance can I receive from your division to help me, because I'm still going to have waste disposal. I'm still going to have recycling. And believe it or not, some people may even have a yard waste in there. So we want to make sure that we are serving our population, whether they are seniors or whether they are individuals part of this community that have some type of physical ailment.
Okay. So how does a person apply?
Applying is very easy. You can go online, or you can call LexCall, and you can call our office directly. If you call us directly, but the best way and the best approach is to send everything through LexCall. LexCall will then get something mailed out to you, the exemption form, and at which time after you request that form, then you would hear back from our office in some short time.
Okay. Is a doctor's note required as part of that, or is it?
Yes, a doctor's note is required with the physician's signature on it. Okay. And the reason for that is because we want to make sure that the service that we're giving, it is a service that does take a lot of planning and strategizing with our manpower. So we want to make sure that we actually have people that really need the service, and that we don't want anyone that's going to abuse the service.
Sure, totally understand that. Do you need to apply every year, or once you make the application, it's just sort of until they tell you to stop?
Yeah, great question. With that, I will say that currently we do not. We do not require anyone to have to reapply every year. But unfortunately, we are going to stop that practice, because one of the practices that we've noticed, or one of the gaps we've noticed in this, is that there are individuals or addresses that have been laying on our exemption list for probably way too long, and we need to kind of get a better handle on that. So starting in January of 2026, we will require yearly or annual check-ins, if you will, with the exemption, where individual has to mail back or renew, if you will, that form with our division, so that way we can continue your service in an exemption status.
Okay, very great information. Thank you. Does it cost extra?
It does not. Okay. All of this is paid for by the wonderful citizens of Lexington Fayette Urban County Government, and it is just it's an a la carte or Cadillac service, if you will, if we're using an industry standard, to try to help anyone, as I said once before, any physical ailments or any seniors within our community.
Okay. And the last question I can think of here is, does it just apply to the folks within the urban service boundary, or does it apply to everybody within Fayette County?
No, it does apply just for the urban service county boundary. If someone is outside of that boundary line and they have Rumpke service or one of the private haulers, then what they would need to do is contact those private haulers to see if an exemption service or a service of some sort can be extended to them.
Okay. Switching subjects to recycling, not specific to seniors, available for everybody, but can you talk about this program sort of in general?
For our recycling program?
Correct.
So our curbside recycling program is one that is a single stream, and it's one that we do want to get as much recycled material in these bins as possible. You may know that we've actually started at the beginning of this year in January a contamination committee work group, and this contamination work group will help us streamline some of the wishful cycling out of our stream and kind of look more towards the approach of cleaning up our recycling stream so we have more beneficial use for the material coming into our recycling center, and being able to put landfill diversion at a much lower rate than where it's at now.
So is there a particular thing that you most often find that people put in the recycling that really isn't recycling?
Well, when it comes to recycling, you will find a little bit of everything, and that kind of goes to the wishful cycling, right? Sometimes you will have people that put certain plastic cups and straws in the recycling container, believing that these items are recyclable. Coffee cups, for example, are one. So pizza boxes, but now in the industry has changed so much over the last 5 years that many of the items that people do put in their bins are recyclable items. That's the reason why us as a MRF or our recycling center, we're able to get that material in, be able to shift through what's good, what's not good. But we do have some bad users. We found car parts, we found medical waste, food waste, and these are type of materials or commodities that we do not want in these recycling streams.
Okay. You used an acronym a second ago, MRF.
Yes.
I'm not familiar with that.
So that is the Material Recovery Facility. Okay. And it is our facility here. It's owned and operated by Lexington Fayette Urban County government employees. And it is a great benefit to have a material recovery facility. And one of the things that we're shortening up with ours, with our messaging, is just calling it a recycling center.
And I think the last question that I can think of with regards to recycling is, are there drop-off areas within Lexington that you might take something that's extremely heavy, or electronics or stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. We do have convenient drop-off sites. And we can get a list of those and have those running. But those 4 drop-off sites currently that are running are unstaffed drop-off sites. So unfortunately, we don't have anyone there to assist if an individual has a heavy bag or material that they maybe even question is recyclable. But one of the great things our communication team is doing is bringing forth messaging on the container boxes to be able to show our citizens what can be recycled and what can't be recycled.
Well, Director Baldon, thank you so much for coming and sharing information about the exception program or the carryout program, whichever term you like to use, and the information about the recycling.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining us for the Senior Minute.